In the UK, there's burglary every 45 seconds.
Somebody's just broken into my back door, frightened me to death.
I had some robbers break into my house.
Saw the back door was open and it was a mess. Realised that someone had been in.
But right across the country, dedicated police teams are on the offensive, waging war against the criminals who steal from local homeowners.
Please, come and open the door, otherwise entry's going to have to be forced.
For the victims of these crimes, it can take months, even years, to come to terms with what's happened.
You just hope one day it happens to them.
But in this series, we're about to show them and you how we can all beat the burglars. This is Crime Scene Rescue. There are around 700,000 burglaries in Britain every year, and it can traumatise even devoted couples like Robert and Dorothy.
I couldn't have found anybody better looked after me a treat. In fact, I'm very lucky she condescended to marry me.
Together for 44 years, they thought they'd seen it all, but then they were burgled.
Did you mention on the phone that possibly there was a jewellery box?
Yes, it was on top of it was on here.
So is that something that's gone?
Yes,
yeah.
The whole thing's gone.
And while the police hunt for the thieves, we take on the huge challenge of making their house more secure than ever.
There's a little extra that we've done inside.
Hello, West Yorkshire Police, how can I help? Hi, I think my parents have had an attempted or a partial break-in.
The city of Leeds, just one of the many areas protected by West Yorkshire Police. The fourth largest force in the UK, they serve a population of around 2 million people. But the latest figures show that over 14,000 homes in West Yorkshire have been burgled.
And the parents not around at the moment?
They're on holiday, they're in Germany in Heidel.
It's a crime that not only robs people of their possessions, it can also rob them of their peace of mind, as I'm about to discover. It's almost 6 in the evening. A few miles from the city centre, I'm attending a crime scene with PC Graham Lawton, a police specialist in burglaries.
Pleased to meet you.
Inside the house is 41-year-old Liz, who stopped by to check on her parents' home while they are away on holiday. She discovered that around 40 of their cherished ornamental spoons had been stolen, but she's concerned even more items could be missing.
When I came in, I noticed that the ornamental teaspoons were missing.
Do you want to show me through?
Very exciting collection.
So there's some things in here. So this was full up, was it?
Yeah, it was full up, yeah.
Oh, right. There's one on the floor there.
Yeah. Just ornamental souvenir ones from places that they've been, you know.
That's going to be worth something sentimentally to you folks, isn't it?
My mum and dad, yeah.
Of course it is, because they would have had those for many years.
The bedroom window was fairly visible and partly open, which...
Was that this one here?
That's that one there that you can see that's not covered by the blinds of the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't leave their bedroom like this.
No.
And it's all a bit surreal, really.
Have you managed to get in contact with them?
No. No, I'm...
I bet that's a phone call you're dreading.
Yeah, that's not going to be one that's going to be fun, because they'll be worrying.
I really feel for them.
PC Lawton has already assessed how the burglars may have entered the property, so now it's key that more detailed notes are taken. Meanwhile, the distress on Liz's face is growing. Right now, her parents, Robert and Dorothy, are having a well-deserved break and are blissfully unaware of what's happened and just how vulnerable their home is.
This is the window they've come in through. They've broken the frame. And the actual window lock there has been broken, so that is totally insecure now. And Liz is understandably very upset and doesn't want to leave the house because she feels this is insecure and they could obviously come back, and that's what's going through her mind.
Somebody's been in here, somebody who had no right, no permission to come in's been in and has been in places that they shouldn't be being.
Robert and Dorothy have lived securely in their home for almost 6 years. But the sad truth is that once you've been burgled, there's a high probability you'll suffer the same fate again. And if you haven't got basics like good security lighting or window locks, then the risk of another break-in becomes even higher. For West Yorkshire Police, burglaries are a high priority and they're keen to capitalise on any clues at the scene. Good forensics can improve the chances of a conviction by around 20%. And Mike Middleton, an expert in forensics, is quick off the mark.
What's going through your mind at the moment?
Possibility of footwear marks where they've come in. The wood, although it is a raw wood, it is quite varnished and glossed, so hopefully they might have left some marks on there as well.
So just there, you're just dusting for Is it finger or shoe marks or both?
Both, really. I mean, like we say, the idea is that they've probably gone out this window as well,
Yeah.
rather than find another point of exit. So there's possibility of some fingertips on there, where they've possibly jumped out.
With Mike gathering the remaining forensics for the police investigation, my mission is to make sure Robert and Dorothy's home is secure for the night. So I've called in an emergency glazier, who's unfortunately all too used to picking up the pieces following a break-in.
There's no glass broken, so there's no point boarding the glass. All I'll do is just put some big screws through there. The window's shot, absolutely shot. So it won't make any more damage than it is. I'll just put some screws in it on both sides.
It seems a pretty simple fix, maybe a slightly brutal one in some people's eyes, but what he's going to do is actually make that window a lot more secure than the rest of the windows. Our plan is to make the entire house a lot more secure for when the occupants eventually get home. Robert and Dorothy, you've just come back from a holiday, which obviously midway through you got the worst news possible when Liz told you what she found in your house. Now, you've not been in yet, have you?
No.
You've literally just got back. So what I'd like to do is walk up with you now and go in with you, if that's OK with yourselves.
Okay with me?
I'm just numb.
You're numb?
I just feel numb, yeah.
OK. And it's a very hard time, I understand, but if you can just explain to me what's going on.
Well, I just don't know what to expect.
Shock.
They've actually left some behind.
How many did you have?
Well, it was full, so...
They were full.
It was
Best part of
full,
40, the best part of 40.
40 or 50.
Over the years, you pick one up.
Robert and Dorothy, in here, this was the window. It was actually
You can see when it
this
smashed it all
window.
open.
So we've had that secured at the moment
That's
so that no
fine.
one can open it. But it's obviously got a lot of work to do. Has anything like this happened before, Dorothy?
No, never.
Never.
Did you mention on the phone that possibly there was a jewellery box?
Yes, it's on top of the... It was on here.
So is that something that's gone?
Yes, the whole thing's gone. I've been trying to rack my brains just exactly what was in it.
With the jewellery box gone too, the list of stolen items is steadily rising. As the police continue their house-to-house inquiries, I want to personally make sure that we can protect Robert and Dorothy from a future break-in. Only 12% of people actually improve their home security after a burglary. My plan is to take that stress away and stop the thieves coming back again.
What I certainly want to do is do whatever we possibly can to stop this ever happening again.
That'll do for me.
And I think what we can do is certainly increase the security around your home. We've got a security expert from the police coming in the morning who's going to have a look and make a list of the locks and the doors and the windows and all the security elements
I'm
around
wondering
home.
about that door lock because it doesn't look as though it's one of the safe ones.
Exactly, and that's one of my concerns because I think if we make this place as secure as possible, we're going to minimise this ever happening again for you.
Yeah.
But obviously I need your permission to do that.
Yeah, well, you've got it.
Fine.
Well, I can't help thinking that the couple are putting on some sort of brave face, but you can see deep down they were really upset that an intruder had been into their home. And it was horrible seeing their faces, knowing that someone had jumped all over their bed and rifled through their personal belongings. For me, it's time to get cracking. We need to get people round that house to fix it and make it as safe and secure as we possibly can.
Back at Police HQ, and it's time to hit the phone and assemble an army of helpers.
Hi, John, it's Rav. Danny, it's Rav. Matthew, it's Rav. We've got a job for you, Lucy. We need a favour. We've got a lovely couple, Dorothy and Robert. The garden was targeted by the burglars. That's clearly how they've got in and out. I'm afraid there's a lot of sentimental stuff that's gone. They're clearly, very upset about this. I want to make their house their home again. Danny, that would be fantastic if you can do that. Thanks, pal. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
It's the day after a rather subdued Robert and Dorothy returned to their burgled home, and I've come back to see how they're feeling.
Good morning.
Oh,
How are you?
Yeah.
You
A bit
all right?
weepier than I was last night.
Look upset. Can I come in?
Yeah, please do.
A bit weepier, so tell me what's happened.
Well, I'm starting to find things that have gone missing. I have a rosary, for example, the crystal rosary that my eldest daughter bought for me, and it was quite expensive. I think she ordered it from somewhere in Australia, online. And I always say a decade before I go to sleep on a night, and put my hand in my drawer last night, it wasn't there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You noticed anything else that's gone
I started
overnight?
remembering some of the things that are in the jewel box. I had a pearl necklace and some earrings, and the earrings my dad had bought me when I was doing my nursing training. Donkeys years ago.
So it's clearly the sentimental value, isn't it?
And a crystal necklace that a grateful patient once gave me when I was working in York.
I can see how upset you are,
Yeah,
that's
and
clear.
it's getting to me now. Yeah, last night I just sort of felt it was almost as if it hadn't happened. It was very surreal. It was, you know, because we weren't here and we didn't find it when it was, you know, first discovered.
Now, we've got a lot of work to do, Dorothy, but over the next few days we're going to do that, and we're going to make sure, as much as we possibly can, that this sort of thing never happens to you and your husband ever again. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, you poor thing. Oh, I really feel for you, Dorothy.
I must look a fright. I haven't even brushed my hair this morning.
That's the least of your worries. Don't you worry about that.
I'm determined that this ex-nurse who spent a lifetime caring for others should feel safe in her home again. And in my view, the transformation of the security can't happen soon enough. The man to provide the blueprint for the changes is PC Paul Croft, a crime reduction expert with West Yorkshire Police.
OK, Paul, so here's the front of the property. Now, one of my pet hates when I was in the police myself is seeing an old, tatty burglar alarm box, because it would signal to the burglars, if that's tatty, it's probably not working or doing a particularly good job.
It's sent to the offender, you know, although there's a box up there, is it in working order? You know, is it been repaired? Has it been serviced over the years that it's been up there?
OK. If we just go down here ever so slightly, where you see next door, just where it joins this property, there's a very, very low fence and no lighting I can see from this house. I'm unaware what next door has.
It is an easy route in and out. So, yeah, you can gain easy access there. And that may be something that we can look at.
OK. So that's the front. Let's go down and see what we can do on the other parts. The front door. Now, it looks pretty solid and sturdy to me, but what's your thoughts?
This lock here is a standard lock that would be fitted from manufacture. Now, there are cylinders which are improved on that, which there's a certain way that offenders are getting into houses, and by installing a new up-to-date cylinder that now conforms to the new British standard, we can reduce the likelihood of that happening to this address and addresses like it.
So here we are. This is the rear of the property, and you can see the window where clearly they've gained access. It's in a bit of a sorry state at the moment. What can we do to make that more secure?
I would suggest that looking at that and the state of repair of the windows, and you can see it's flaking, the wood's giving the appearance that it's rotten, I'd be tempted to say that we certainly need to perhaps look at replacing those windows with something a little bit more modern, with some more safety features on them.
Now, we can't change everything, but what we do have at the back of the property here is some sort of alleyway, and that's, of course, possibly entrance into the back of this house.
Personally, I think this is where the offender has probably come over. Perhaps we could make that a little bit more uninviting for the offender to climb over that wall.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul.
The police assessment is a key part of the security overhaul, but I'm really worried about the emotional impact of this burglary, especially as it's becoming increasingly apparent just how fond of their home Robert and Dorothy are.
Since we came in here, we've mellowed an awful lot, haven't we? Because we've been a lot more together in retirement as well, haven't we?
We like Darby and Joan, we just...
Yeah. We've found we've matured a lot more, haven't we? We've mellowed a bit.
Definitely.
It's early afternoon in Leeds, and while the city's residents go about their daily business, back at Robert and Dorothy's home, the security transformation is progressing, removing the old alarm and fitting new locks.
So, Danny, how's it going?
Bye, thanks, Rav.
Busy at work. Looks like you're nearly done. You've had a look at the old burglar alarm, and that is gone. Now, you're aware that Dorothy and Robert do have a dog, Scott, that lives in there, and dogs can set off certain alarms. So have you accounted for that with this one?
Yeah, we certainly have. We're going to install PIR sensors that are actually pet-friendly. They can they can differentiate the difference between an intruder and indeed a pet. So yeah,
brilliant.
Ideal
as simple
for the
as
job.
that. And this isn't a particularly expensive model, is it? It's just something you put in that anyone could buy for a couple of £100.
That's right. Yeah, I mean they're not expensive systems, and they're quite easy to install. So yeah, they're within anyone's reach.
Brilliant. You're going to stick this on in a bit when you're finished.
Yep.
And then the alarm's complete.
Superb.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks a lot.
Robert and Dorothy's bedroom is their sanctuary, a place where Dorothy does her embroidery and where Robert brings her breakfast every morning. But now it's been tarnished. I'm determined to rekindle the happiness they previously felt in this space. To help, I've called in designer Lucy Roper, who's going to take the lead on making this house their home again.
Now, we've had a look at the security, and I think there's loads we can do to really make this place secure, but what else can we do?
Well, I know they're probably very uncomfortable about being here, and when the break-in took place, they walked all over the beds and things, and also have some mobility issues. So, looking at maybe looking at replacing the beds, maybe redecorating. I know there's some security issues being covered with the windows, but we were thinking maybe something like a blackout blind that can actually be left in a down position. Obviously, the furniture is a little bit dated, and I think there's some issues with it falling to bits, so we're going to see if we can do something there.
Let's just make this light, make it new, make it feel nice for them once again, and make this house a home.
Yeah.
Now, work started on the house, but there's still plenty more that needs doing, so I'm going to have a word with the neighbours and see if they can give us a hand. For this transformation to succeed, I want to join forces with the local community so we can all show just how passionately we want Robert and Dorothy to get back on track.
Hello there. How you doing? I'm Rav. Hello there, sir.
There. How are you?
I'm Rav. Across the road from you, there's a couple, Dorothy and Robert. Do you know them?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of work that we still need to do. We want to make the place feel a bit nicer for them. You see if we can get some helping hands, some neighbours round. Would you be able to help out, do you think?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah? Right, we'll see you.
Yeah, OK, get out.
Neighbours on board, and what's really nice about this is the sense of community spirit, and they all want to help each other out. They all agree it's absolutely horrendous what's happened to poor Dorothy and Robert, but what they also agree on is that they want to come round and help. With the new alarm in action, Robert and Dorothy are already almost 3 times more secure than before. As they settle down for the evening, West Yorkshire Police remain on the trail of the thieves. PC James Gross is leading the investigation.
The team and I are still awaiting the forensic results that were taken from Rob and Dorothy's address. We're also looking to other lines of inquiry, trying to piece the clues together as to whether this is a one-off burglary or whether the suspects are the same and can be linked to other burglaries that have occurred.
So the forensics could be vital in solving this case, and the investigation continues. Early morning, and Robert and Dorothy are about to leave their home of almost 6 years to allow us to continue the transformation. But it seems Robert in particular is finding things hard to deal with since the burglary.
He's having trouble coping. He's not a well man at the best of times, and at the moment he's having a few health issues, and because of that he's not taking things in his stride like he would have done once upon a time.
OK.
As they head off, the plan for today is to make some more giant strides with the security, replacing the windows and adding new exterior lights. But we're also trying to put the heart back into this home. And for that, we'll require my army of community-spirited tradesmen and women. OK, ladies and gents, thank you for coming round at such short notice. The reason we are all here is to help Dorothy and Robert, who live in the property behind me. Some of you personally know them, some of the neighbours I see that have come forward, and some of you have just heard what happened. We want to make that place so secure, and as a little added bonus, I also want to look at the bedroom where this actually happened. They don't even feel like they want to be there at the moment, and I think we need to change that. So with your help, we don't have a lot of time, so let's get on with it.
What's the timescale for clearing the bedrooms so the windows going in?
This one will probably be about an hour, and that one about an hour.
So an hour, just get everything cleared? That's my beautiful colour if you'd like to unveil. Ooh, nice and relaxing and calming after you've been burgled.
3 hours in and the overhaul on Robert and Dorothy's house is progressing swiftly, and the new windows in particular are taking shape. Fitting them is John, and he's going well beyond the call of duty to make sure our homeowners feel extra secure.
So, John, you're doing the windows.
We are.
This is the bathroom one. Talk me through what you're doing here.
It is this. With it being a bathroom, I would say it has to be toughened. It has to be toughened glass. For the event of it breaking, it doesn't crack and it's not going to fall on the end user. We didn't have 4 days, unfortunately, to get it toughened. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it with a clear security film. Not only is that going to be safer, it's also going to be more secure. So the event of it being broken into, they're not going to be able to gain entry from the glass. It costs roughly about £20–25 per square metre. It can be fitted on timber windows, aluminium windows, PVC, and it's a retrofit. It's very easy to fit, and you can make that security improvement at home.
This burglary has really struck a chord within the community. Not only are the police doing all they can, so too are neighbours like Jeff and Dennis, who are adding their own unique input to proceedings.
If you're going to fall, give us a shout. I'll get out of the way.
So, Lucy, loads of work's obviously taken place here. Tell me what's happened so far.
OK, we have taken the wardrobes out, we've redecorated them, painted them, tried to make the room lighter an area. We have got a carpet coming tomorrow. We've got new beds that have arrived. We have got some lovely pictures that we've framed, hopefully with lots of happy memories, so that it makes this room a bit more comfortable. And I think we're about on schedule, hopefully, for finishing before they get back.
Well, I think we're in safe hands here, so I'm off to see how the police are doing with their investigation.
Unfortunately, the crime will be filed as undetected at this time, with no suspects to charge to court. It may be that further down the line that we might trace the property, where we can deal with that person for handling stolen goods, and then obviously from there see if we can try and locate the burglary suspects.
It's bad news for Robert and Dorothy, but it's good to hear that the police will continue to pursue any new leads that crop up. It's early morning in Leeds, and while the city slowly rises, the finishing touches are taking place. The final piece of the security jigsaw is to add a tougher door with better locks and plant a range of prickly bushes. If Robert and Dorothy's home were targeted again, a small piece of ripped clothing or blood gathered from these could be all it takes to identify the burglar.
Well, we're trying to make this garden a little bit more unfriendly to burglars, so I've got a selection of plants to go in. I've got some pyracantha here, which is really nasty stuff. You don't want to go near it without these gloves on, and it'll rip you to pieces.
Just an hour to go, and PC Paul Croft, West Yorkshire Police's burglary expert, is back to give his view on the new security measures. We've added a new pet-friendly alarm, tougher front door, security lights, fencing, prickly bushes, and of course, some much-needed UPVC windows.
In terms of a score for the house, I think initially we'd have to be looking at perhaps a 2 or a 3. And now, after all the work that's been done, I don't think we can ever give a property a 10 out of 10, but certainly we're looking at 8 or 9.
Time for Robert and Dorothy to come home.
How are you doing?
You're all right. It's been weird.
Oh.
Really weird.
Right, well, I've got lots to show you. We'll start off on the front of your house. You can see up there,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
a brand new burglar alarm has been put in. So it's nice, shiny new, it's flashing away. It will deter anyone alone just seeing that, OK? See on the corner there?
I've seen that one.
You've seen the light?
Look at those.
Hey, I've seen that light.
You've got 4 of those around your house,
Hey, yeah,
those lights.
Yeah.
And they're a special low-level lighting, so they don't cost very much to run at all. They're very, very cheap to run, but it gives off light every time it goes dark, OK? So from dusk till dawn,
Just to dawn.
they'll come on. So, again, that will deter anyone. So if you just follow me round through here, and, guys, what you can see There's a brand new front door.
Hey, that looks a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, much more secure, the entire door. All right, it's also got a much more secure lock on it. I just want to show you one more thing here. Now, here on the conservatory doors, I know you were a little bit concerned before, Robert, about the handles. And again, that the locks you previously had...
That's a lot better.
They were not as secure as we'd like. Now, they've been replaced.
Yeah.
OK?
All right, that's a nice big lock.
All right. Now...
I can't get over all this.
Well, we wanted to make this house as secure as we possibly could. So
It looks like you've done a very good job so far.
Well, so far, yeah. There's more,
yeah.
but there is more that I want to show you. There's a little extra that we've done inside. So, would you like to follow me?
Yeah.
I'll show you the inside.
Right.
Robert, if you have a look in here, we wanted to do something extra for you because...
Woo! It's a different room.
I've seen this.
Now, what we wanted to do was a little bit extra for you because we know that this is the room where it happened. And what we wanted to try and do, Robert...
Yeah, it's fine.
...is try and put some happy memories in
All right,
this
fine,
room
yeah.
instead of the bad memory of what happened. So what do you think?
I'm overwhelmed.
Well, as Yorkshireman, you say,
I'm absolutely overwhelmed.
Totally gobsmacked.
Just look for me over there. Just look at the window there
I'm
for
looking
me.
at it.
Now, that's been completely replaced.
I'm looking at the pelmet. I've seen the pelmet.
I know.
The window's completely new, completely secure, much, much more secure than what you had before.
Is it really?
You sure we're not an hotel?
I was going to say, is it really our house?
Is it a hotel? Is it ours? I know.
The lamps.
So, Dorothy and Robert, now you've seen what's happened in this room, to the windows, to the doors, all around your house. Do you feel a little bit more secure than you did?
Oh, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes, it certainly do.
You've got to do.
Yeah, I'm never going to want to get out of bed again.
Brilliant. Obviously, there's a lot of people that have been working through the night, really, to make this happen.
Well, it's a miracle. I don't know
how would you feel about meeting some of them?
I would love to.
Yeah, I could say thank you to them.
Huge thank you to say to everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone who made this possible is here, including their daughter Liz.
There we go.
Goodness me, where did they all come from?
Do you want to go and say hello to them?
I do, please, yeah.
You go
thanks,
off.
everybody.
People in the street at once and your lovely home. Thank you so much. So now we can say thanks. Thanks, Lily.
Wonderful job.
Yes, it never ceases to amaze me that, you know, we've got some really, really good people in the community that have come together, you know, at short notice to make new windows, door locks, alarm systems and things. And clearly, you know, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Well, I never thought something so sad could end up so positive, with all these tradesmen and women and neighbours coming to help Dorothy and Robert out and make their house their home once again.